Namaste and good morning, and let's go live for another bicycle live stream on Saturday, April the 6th at 6:37 a.m. I've ridden 34 kilometres on this gorgeous autumn morning. I'd have to say it's the perfect temperature at the moment, 18 degrees, just right, and it's just the magic autumn feel in the air, and those that read my page regularly will know that I absolutely love autumn. This morning's topic it'd be a little bit different to the way that other people have been doing, but it's basically my version of a video that a few other vegans have been doing in the last few months in response to the number of vegans that were posting videos saying that they were no longer vegan. And I've thought about this for a while, doing this video, and just the time wasn't right to do it, but the time is right now to do a why am I still vegan 39 years later video. But mine's going to be a little bit different because it's going to put the question back on non-vegans, and the question is going to go back to non-vegans as to why are you still not vegan however many years later. So I wrote a list of reasons why I'm still vegan 39 years later, and in going through that list I think I will do a turnaround and put it back on you. If you're a non-vegan and you're watching this live stream, my question to you is going to be why are you still supporting cruelty? Why are you still supporting violence? Why are you still supporting slaughter? Why are you still supporting environmental destruction? All the negatives that there is absolutely no reason to be supporting is the question that needs to be asked as to why anyone in their right mind would be supporting this. There is only, once we become aware of the facts, once we become aware of what's going on to the animals, once we become aware of what's happening with our environment, once we become aware of what's happening to our health, once all these factors come into play and we say, wow, I never knew that before, we are then faced with a decision, because with awareness comes responsibility. And that decision means that if previously you weren't aware of the horrendous animal holocaust of 70 billion land animals a year slaughtered, or 8 million an hour slaughtered for no reason other than taste, if previously you weren't aware of that, if previously you weren't aware that we've entered the 6th major extinction event, primarily caused by animal agriculture, if you previously weren't aware of that, if you previously weren't aware that we are biologically herbivores, and it is incredibly destructive to be consuming any animal products because of the health effects that... Oh, good morning, Sandra. Thank you for watching. So, yeah, it is incredibly destructive to our health, especially our long-term health, to be consuming any animal products because of the effect that it has on our body, which is confirmed and backed up by multiple studies, which are easily found with the power of Google, easily found. Studies that show that dairy products contribute towards cancer. Studies that show that meat products contribute towards colon cancer, and osteoporosis and heart attacks. If you previously were not aware of the health implications, of the environmental implications, and of the animals' rights, if you were not previously aware of this and then you become aware of it, but you still continue to support the cruelty, the slaughter, the torture, the confinement, the commodification of animals, of living beings that have as much right for love and respect and life as all of us do, if you continue to support this, then you have made a decision to stay on the dark side, basically. You've said, oh, I'm aware of what's going on, and I'm happy to continue supporting it. That's a very, very dangerous decision to make. It has energetic ramifications for you, and it has energetic ramifications. As I said earlier, it has energetic ramifications for the animals and the planet and yourself. But as I said earlier, with awareness comes great responsibility. It is fairly hard in 2019 to not be aware via now mainstream media, not just social media, but mainstream media presenting quite a number of articles about veganism, about the plight of the animals. It's on the news a lot now. It's very hard in 2019 for a non-vegan to not be aware of this. And you know how I know this? Because I have numerous friends that are not vegan, and in conversation without me prompting it, I've noticed in the last probably year how often a non-vegan will mention a vegan topic. It may not be mentioned in a positive light, but it's there on the tip of their tongue, and it happens so often now that it's good, because it means it's normalizing the use of the word vegan. It means that the average person in the street it has got that in their subconscious, and they bring it up in conversation. So that part of it is great. And the other part that's also great is the fight back that we are seeing from farmers, those in the animal agriculture industry, and those that support them, which means industries, other industries, and even the government that gives them handouts and kickbacks. The fight back that is happening. What was it that Gandhi said? First they ignore you or something, and then they argue with you, something like that, and then they fight with you, and then you win. And we're sort of at that stage now where there's a lot of that fighting happening, and I'm seeing that, and it's not pleasant. It's the things that are said are not pleasant, very derogatory comments towards people, us, vegans, whose goal is not about us, whose goal is to save someone else. So it's very, it's disappointing that meat eaters don't seem to understand that they're trying to defend their right to, it's not their right, actually, I should correct this. They're trying to defend their desire to satisfy their taste buds however they like. And Sandra says, yes, when you talk about something, you attract it. Yes, it's the energetic connection, yes. So meat eaters are so addicted to their senses that even when given the information, given the awareness, they make a decision to put their head back in the sand and say, no, I don't want to know. And, they will argue and come up with, I saw so many arguments. I was reading a long thread on Facebook yesterday that I was tagged in, some lady trying to go on about that we need meat and just all this information that she was giving. I was just like, and vegan friends of mine were, very politely giving her information to enlighten her. And she was going on and on and on. I could see this battle and she was just, firmly rooted in her belief. And I thought, wow, your taste addiction is so overwhelming that you will not even when told what's happening to the animals, your taste addiction is overruling your compassion. So why am I still vegan 39 years later? The question is, why isn't everyone vegan 39 years later? It's happening. It's happening too slowly for the animals, but it is happening. But the awareness is increasing, and the companies are jumping on board left, right and centre with vegan products, mainly because there's money in it, not because there's an ethical stance. But occasionally there will be a story I'll read where a company has taken on veganism from an ethical point of view and has changed their business to reflect it, and that's very heartwarming. So some of the reasons, so that I don't finish this live stream without mentioning some of the reasons why I'm still vegan 39 years later, is because even before I went vegan as a 16-year-old pimply-faced youth, I had a strong aversion to violence. I always did, and I had a very strong attraction towards Gandhi's principles of ahimsa, which is non-violence and compassion in thought, word and action. It resonated very deeply with me. I knew that there was no hope for our world if we had a world full of argument, conflict, chaos and violence. And so I was very much a pacifist, very much someone who wanted peace to resonate through the world. And going vegan was a natural extension of that, even though initially I was not aware, because initially I was doing that for health reasons. But it then tied in and just made sense that was part of my own journey to help promote peace. And yes, and Sandra says, like Fry's from South Africa, which, yes, was a vegetarian company and then went vegan with all their products. Because I interviewed, I've forgotten her first name. Anyway, I interviewed her late last year on the Vegan Hour. How could I forget her first name? Anyway, it's on my YouTube channel. So being vegan for me ties in with my overall lifestyle, philosophy, spiritual direction, which is one of compassion, kindness, peacefulness, friendliness, helpfulness, mildness, just a lot of the traits of being meek, I guess you could say, but strength in that compassion, as Billy Simmons would say. So that is one reason why being vegan has become more and more and more important for me. But the bottom line will always be, it's because the animals have a right. They are living beings. They have a right to live, to love, to live their lives free from harm in a state of peace and happiness, and we have no right to take that from them. As it says in the Bible, thou shalt not kill. We have never had a right to do it. And what we kill kills us. It kills us through ill health. It kills us through environmental destruction. And it kills the animals. Energetically, it is the most stupid thing any person can do, is to be involved somewhere along the line in the slaughter of another living being, because energetically it comes back on us and it creates chaos in our life. And that's why we live in a world that is not at peace, because the majority of people are creating energetic chaos for themselves and for their families, for the people around them. But the change is happening. It's not happening fast enough, but it is happening. So biologically, it is completely insane to put animal products into our body when we do not have the intestinal tract to be able to handle it, We do not have the stomach acid. We do not even have the correct teeth. There's many different things, many different areas of our biology that prevents us from processing, digesting, and being able to live healthily on animal products. And the proof of that is the horrendous rates of heart attacks and the high levels of cholesterol and diabetes, and that are reversed by plant-based doctors when they put their patients on a whole foods plant-based diet. So it's, you know, it's there. It's as obvious as anything. My God, Currumbin Valley looks amazing this morning. It's just wow. So what else? So another point is that living beings, every living being, you and me and every living being, will fight to our last breath to survive, which is another indicator that we have no right to kill any other living being. It's, you know, anyway, I could go down that track, but there are people that say, you know, it's that the animals are put here for us to eat, you know, certain animals, which is speciesism, of course, but it just helps underline the absurdity of that when you see how they cower in fear. Was it Buddha that said all beings cower in fear before death? I think it was somewhere along that line. So, and eating animals actually puts us, there are three modes of material nature. There is the mode of goodness, which what can help us to obtain that is fruit and vegetables. That puts us on a higher vibratory rate, where we have a clearer connection, a clearer heart connection, and where we receive wisdom easily and readily. The next mode down from that is mode of passion, which we can still be vegan and be in the mode of passion, such as eating a lot of garlic, onions, things that excite the mode of passion. And then the lowest level is the mode of ignorance. The mode of ignorance is where people are eating animal products, drinking alcohol, taking drugs, and they basically have lost most of their connection with their inner wisdom and are flying blind, just going by what their senses are telling them to do, which is coming through the mind. So a person in that condition is really just so easily led astray, because they just go from one disaster to the next. And we all know people like that just their life is just disastrous because they're in the mode of ignorance. They really are walking around in the dark, and they've got no idea what the purpose of life is, the meaning of life, which is to find eternal love, which equates to eternal happiness. So that's another reason why it's incredibly silly to be so selfish to continue consuming animal products. And another thing with hindsight is that because I went vegan at such a young age, and because I had friends that would sort of torment me or, you know, criticize me or whatever, the benefit of hindsight is that 39 years later is seeing how they stood up over the test of time. And I've got to say, in a lot of cases, it hasn't been particularly pleasant for them. Morning. And that's the benefit of hindsight, is being able to look and see that quite a number of friends have actually passed away in their 40s or 50s, and those that haven't have some of them have major health problems and issues, which means their quality of life is crap. And that's very, very sad, because we want everyone to be happy. Compassion, that's a component of compassion. And it's very sad when somebody follows a path that doesn't bring that up for them. And at the same time, that path involves so much senseless slaughter that it's just creating an awful situation for those that are slaughtered and for the planet and for our health. So why am I still vegan 39 years later? The real question is, if you're watching this and you're not vegan, then why aren't you? This is 2019 and it's as easy as you can get to find vegan products everywhere in mainstream shops and supermarkets, and so there are no excuses. Information is out there everywhere on social media, in so many documentaries, in sites that have lots of nutritional information like nutritionfacts.org, things like that. So in order to be at peace in ourselves, in order to feel the love that all of us want to feel, we need to take a stand with this awareness and be compassionate towards every living being, and then that compassion also extends to ourselves. So I was trying to wave whilst going up a hill and Louis fell off the bike. So thank you for watching. I hope you'll think about this if you're not vegan, and if you are vegan, I hope you'll have an opportunity to spread some awareness to your friends, non-vegan friends and family. Have a great day, live vegan and save lives. I'm out of breath now going up this hill, and I'll speak to you soon. Ahimsa.